think it's perfect for me to come after Jim, because for two reasons. Number one, Jim is the one who gave me the idea. He said, please tell me how lunch gets onto the plate every day for 1,600 people, because I don't know how that works. And secondly, because Jim was talking about being a very unorganized individual, and I'm talking about organizing a group of people, which is if this group of people are not organized completely and very well, and everybody does not know exactly what their task is, your lunch would not get on your plate every day at 11:30. So let's take a look. So some organization tools that we use. Let me just say that I do not manage the cafeteria at NIST, but I do work for the same company that does manage the cafeteria at NIST, so the procedures are sort of the same. The most important thing for us are a daily time chart. Our day starts at 5:30 in the morning, and we're about 22 people, and every person is slotted in on the daily time chart exactly what they need to be doing every half hour of the day until they go home at 4 o'clock. A group organization chart. Our group is divided up into smaller groups, each group having a specific area of responsibility and a specific task that needs to get done every day. Communication is absolutely key for us. We need to be talking to one another to understand what your responsibility is. We need to put it in order for food. We can do that with either a fax machine or a telephone or an email. We need to be talking to the customer, what is it that they want. We need to be getting feedback from you. That can all happen with all these different areas. And my favorite, and what is absolutely necessary, is checklists and record keeping. If we did not have checklists and record keeping, we would not be able to keep track what each of these 22 people are doing throughout the day. Okay, this is our group organization chart, which means at the very top of the chart is the manager, and underneath that is the head chef. And the manager and the head chef work very closely together to create a menu, for example, or decide how else the rest of the group is going to be divided up and what their key areas of responsibility are. So, for example, there's one group in the kitchen. They are only dealing with the fruits and vegetables all day long. Okay, they're making sure that the fruits are washed, the vegetables are washed, they're cut, and they're prepared. Then we have a group that is only preparing the hot meals and also dealing with the raw meat and things like that, so there's no cross-contamination in the kitchen. Then we have a group that deals solely with the elementary upstairs, and then there's a group that deals solely with the high school and middle school downstairs. Then there's also a group that's responsible for doing their cleaning, and each group knows every day what it is that they need to be starting to do at 5:30 in the morning until they go home at 4:30 in the afternoon. Okay, it all starts with menu planning, and the tools that we use for menu planning are we can look at the internet, we can look at cookbooks, but most importantly, we can talk to one another. What is it that you like to eat? What is it that you don't like to eat? And those ideas can be recorded. Okay, then the next very important is how much do we order? We know we have to make 1,600 lunches every day, so then the head chef who's responsible for that can take out his math calculation sheet, and he needs to calculate how much meat and fruit and vegetables need to be ordered every day, which, by the way, are ordered every day and delivered fresh every day. So that's a lot of food that needs to be prepared by the time high school starts their lunch at 10:30. Okay, checklists. This is the first one. We can start with our daily time record, which starts, I'm going to start one day back, which starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the cleaning checklist. And cleaning checklists are in every room of the kitchen. And one person is responsible for making sure that that checklist in that room gets filled out every day. So that means that all the tables were wiped and sanitized, that the floor was cleaned, that all the dishes are put away and washed. So that's at 3 o'clock every day. Then the next morning, between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning, the produce and vegetables and fruit are brought into the kitchen. You see at the very top there, someone actually has to stand there with a checklist and make sure that what was ordered actually was brought to the kitchen. Okay, so there she is. And you can see there's a whole stack of baskets about as tall as I am. So there are about 4 baskets stacked up, and it goes all the way along the wall. And that's about a lot of food that gets brought in every day, and everything needs to be checked and recorded. It also needs to be weighed. And there's also a different checklist for all the food that's brought in to make sure that the amount that we ordered was actually brought in and that also gets checked and reported. And all these checklists, at the end of every day, they get put into a folder according to the cleaning checklist, the delivery checklist, the food temperature checklist, and they get kept so that you could go back at any time and say, what did we order that day, and how were the items cleaned that day, and who was in charge, and it's all kept tracked and ordered and filed that way. So what happens after they've been weighed? And everything is washed. Even all the fruit, the outside, it's washed because you can't cut the fruit and make the cutting board dirty with the dirt that might be on the cutting board. And just because I say cutting board, the way that we make sure that your food does not get any cross-contamination is that our cutting boards are color-coded. So for example, all the fruits and vegetables are cut on a green cutting board. And for example, beef is cut on a red cutting board, chicken is cut on a yellow cutting board, so nothing touches one another and it's all color-coded in that way. Okay, then from 7:30 to 10 a.m., then we start to cut and prepare, toss the salads, go into the kitchen, the hot meals start being prepared, and you can see how big those pots are and how many people are standing in the kitchen to make sure that the food is ready by 10:30. Okay, then at 3 times during the morning, at 10:15, 11:15, at 12:15, once again we've got our nice checklist, which is, it records the temperature of the food. Because hot food may not go under 60 degrees Celsius and cold food has to stay around 5 degrees Celsius. And that is recorded 3 times during the day and also then at the end of the day kept in its own file of temperature recording food. And of course this is also once again done by the same person every day. She's in charge. She's got her checklist. So, what time is it now? Does anybody know? Now it's lunchtime. After we went through that whole procedure, you can enjoy your lunch.